Hey bears, I am the Gaming-Grizzly and welcome back to Identity 5. And today we are taking a look at the first gameplay of the new hunter, the Clerk, and I will give you a detailed breakdown of how to play this new hunter. So if you're thinking about getting the Clerk, I hope that my video helps to make this decision easier for you. Her skill set is pretty interesting, so let's get right into it. If you press and hold the skill button, you can either select a survivor or yourself to record the movement and interactions for 8 seconds. If you press the skill button again, the recording is available in your skill set. The Clerk can record several interactions, for example pallet and window interactions. She can record decoding of cipher machines and exit gates, as well as her own attack and pallet destroy interactions. You can save up to 3 different recordings, 2 recordings of survivors and 1 recording of your hunter. But now, how do we actually use this skill in matches? This is where it's getting interesting. If you have a recording of a survivor saved, you can place it on the map by using the skill button. The recording will play immediately without any delay. If the interaction that was recorded matches the interaction that is available on the map, the recording will interact accordingly. If you have a recording of your hunter saved, you can also place it on the map by using the skill button. The recording will not play immediately and will have a short delay that will give the survivors a chance to adjust their movement. A recorded attack only deals half damage though, but you can also use it to destroy pallets or just to cut off the survivors' routes. In the clips that we can see a survivor recording being used, and if we look closely we can see that there is a little dent in the line of the recording. That's where the interaction was saved. So if the hunter recorded a survivor that threw down a pallet, for example, she can use that recording to throw down a pallet in front of the survivor. So if the hunter recorded a survivor vaulting a window, she can also use that recording to block a window of a survivor to catch up. This reminds me a lot of the Dream Witch trick in which the main body blocks the window while the leech catches up to the survivors. Now keep in mind, if the hunter never recorded an interaction, she cannot use any interactions on the map with her recordings. When she is recording a survivor, you can see a little book on top of the survivor's head. If the survivors can see that book, all you have to do as survivor is to avoid interacting with objects for 8 seconds, to not give the hunter any useful skills. Also, if the hunter hits you with her recorded self, which reminds me a lot of the Bloody Queen's mirror image, she only inflicts half damage. So even if you're injured, you can take another hit of the recording without going down immediately, as long as you're not getting terror shocked. This is good to know if you need a little speed boost to maybe get into the next kiting area, because as soon as the record hits you, you're turning a little bit faster for a short amount of time. But remember, the original hunter is not having any attack recovery when you take a hit with the record and will continue to chase you down. The hunter's next skill allows her to use records she created to reverse interactions that happened. For example, the record can pick up a just thrown pallet to close the gap between the hunter and the survivor. That will give the survivors a chance to use that pallet again though. If the hunter recorded a survivor that is decoding, you as hunter can reverse the decoding progress by using that record on the cipher machine. I'm curious to see if the Clerk could actually record a survivor that is decoding on the cipher machine and put that recording on the cipher machine as well, to actually help the survivors to decode the cipher machine faster. Not that it's helping the hunter in any way, but it would be interesting. Just in case you were wondering, this is not like the Bloody Queen's mirror image, where you can hit the survivor's mirror image and that survivor will take damage. If the Clerk would try to hit the recording, nothing would happen. That is why she is just standing there watching that survivor reverse the decoding progress on the cipher machine. The new hunter can also press and hold the overview button, which will allow her to record or use recordings within the range of the overview area. At the same time, you can move, attack and perform other actions. You can use the overview skill on ciphers that are not decoded yet, rocket chairs which hold a survivor, and closed exit gates. This reminds me a lot of the sculptor's overview ability, where she can use her statues from above while being able to keep moving towards the survivors. And it's extremely helpful late game, when you can reverse the exit gate opening progress while moving towards the exit gate. Not only does it slow down the process of opening the gates and lets you get closer at the same time, you can also see if there are any survivors at the exit gate or if you should move to the other side. Once the hunter has gathered 1000 presence points, windows that survivors have interacted with while being recorded will be blocked for 10 seconds. which pretty much works like confined space, which helps you if two survivors are chased at the same time, or if one survivor is trying to loop you around at the same window. And as soon as the hunter has full presence, she gets the ability to automatically remove all other movement parts of a recording that are not containing a key interaction like throwing down a pallet or vaulting a window. That means if we look back at the recorded perfumer interaction, you can see how the record has to move towards the pallet first before throwing it down. But with her full presence, she can cut the recording down to the key interaction, which is the pallet throwdown animation, and could now summon the recording that immediately throws down the pallet without the need of walking up to it first. Which will make it way more surprising for the survivors when a pallet is dropped or a window is vaulted right in front of them, because they won't see it coming. Compared to the normal recording, in which they can see that the recording is running towards the pallet or towards the window, and you can adjust your movement around that. Alright, so we broke down all the skills of the new upcoming Hunter the Clerk. We saw her in her first gameplay, and boy oh boy, she seems really interesting, but very difficult to master at the same time. Her skills are kind of a combination of several hunters like the Sculptor and the Bloody Queen. And I absolutely love how she can mess around with the environment. Having pallets pulled up again, blocking windows, and being able to throw down pallets herself with the recordings. I absolutely love the idea of this hunter, and I'm curious to see her in the game. But what about you? What do you think about the Clerk? Are you going to buy her? Are you going to try her out? Or do you think she's not the hunter that you would like to play? Leave me comments in the comment section below what you think of her. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave me a fat like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the Gaming-Grizzly, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!
Yeah.